You'll never be as good as your sister." That was the sentence that shattered me. My mother didn't whisper it. She said it loud, across the dinner table, while my father nodded and my sister smirked. But instead of shrinking this time, I stood up and said something that left the whole room in stunned silence. "My name is Maya. I'm 28 years old, and this is how the disgrace of the family became the only one strong enough to walk away and take everything back." Before I tell you the full story, let me ask, has your family ever made you feel invisible while they lifted someone else on a pedestal? If yes, hit subscribe, smash that like button, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I read every single story, because trust me, I know that pain all too well. For as long as I can remember, I wasn't just the second daughter. I was the forgotten one. My sister Emma? She was the star. The golden child. The one who got the praise, the money, the opportunities. Me. I was the background character. Working double shifts as a nurse, tutoring on weekends, trying to claw my way out of student debt. And no matter how hard I worked, saving lives, pulling 12-hour ICU shifts, it was never enough. My parents always compared me to Emma. Her new job, her new outfits, her glamorous friends. One night, I came straight from the hospital to a family dinner. My scrub still smelled faintly of disinfectant. I sat down at the only broken chair at the table. The room was glowing with candles, wine, roasted chicken, a feast all for Emma's big news. She had landed a trendy marketing job. Dad was beaming like she'd cured cancer. I tried to share my good news too. How my quick actions had saved a patient in cardiac arrest. Mom looked at me deadpan. "That's nice, honey." And then turned straight back to Emma. And then she delivered the blow. "Maya, you'll never be as good as your sister. Emma has drive. She's going places." I smiled weakly. But inside, I shattered. It only got worse. Weeks later, I found out through Instagram, not from my parents, that the family had gone on a luxury Hawaii vacation. Palm trees, cocktails, sunset photos. And me? Left behind. When I called, Mom said, "We didn't think you could get time off work. Emma needed to decompress. You're not even worth inviting." And when Emma's 26th birthday came around, my parents rented the most expensive restaurant in town. 50 guests. Champagne. Applause. I showed up exhausted, in my best dress that still looked cheap next to the designer gowns. When someone asked what I did for work, Dad laughed. "Oh, Maya's still figuring things out. Emma's the one with the real career." Imagine that. I was an ICU nurse, earning nearly double Emma's salary, and my dad told a room full of people I was basically a failure. But the final betrayal? That nearly broke me. While organizing Mom's bills, I found them, Emma's student loan statements. Every payment, marked paid in full. And not by Emma. Not by Mom. Not by Dad. By me. The mortgage contributions I'd been making? They were secretly used to wipe out Emma's $45,000 debt. While I drowned in my own loans. When I confronted Mom, she didn't flinch. "Emma needs to focus on her future. You have a steady job. You can handle it. Don't be selfish, Maya. Family helps family." That's when it hit me. I wasn't helping my family. I was funding my sister's entire lifestyle. But what they didn't know, I had proof. Every bank transfer. Every receipt. Every cent I'd poured into this family. And when Mom casually suggested I pay for Emma's wedding catering, because Emma had bigger expenses like her dress and honeymoon, I knew. It was time for revenge. So I stopped paying. Within a week, the panic set in. Mom's frantic calls. Dad's angry texts. Even Emma rang, suddenly worried about bills she'd never touched before. I told them calmly, "Let's have a family meeting." Saturday came. They thought it would be business as usual, guilt-tripping me until I agreed. They had no idea what was about to happen. Dinner was fancy. Wine poured. Emma flashing her new engagement ring, ready to discuss my contribution to her wedding. And then, as if on cue, Mom delivered her signature line. "Maya, you'll never be as good as your sister." This time I stood, calm, steady, and I said, "Then maybe ask her to pay your bills." The room froze. I pulled out a thick folder and spread it across the table, like laying down cards in a poker game. Every payment. Every loan statement. Every receipt. Over the past 2 years, I've paid $47,000. Your mortgage. Emma's student loans. Her car. Even her credit card debt when she overspent on vacations. Emma's face drained of color. She picked up a page with trembling hands. Mom. Dad. You told me this was your support. No, Emma, I said. It was mine. My parents stuttered excuses. My dad tried to lecture me, but I cut him off. You spent years telling everyone Emma was the successful one, while her life was built on my back. You told me I'd never be good enough, when I was the one keeping this family afloat. And then I delivered the final blow. The payments stop now. Emma can prove how good she is, with her own money. I left that night, and I never looked back. 2 weeks later, I moved to a new city, took a nurse practitioner job making $120,000 a year. A hospital that actually valued me. Within 6 months, my parents' house went into foreclosure. Emma's engagement crumbled when her fiancé realized she couldn't fund her own lifestyle. And for the first time in my life, their silence didn't hurt. It freed me. Here's what I learned. Sometimes the greatest revenge isn't screaming or begging for recognition. It's walking away. It's proving your worth to yourself, not the people who refuse to see it. Family is supposed to lift you up. But if they're only using you, then letting go is the most powerful choice you'll ever make. Have you ever been the one who gave everything while someone else got all the praise? Tell me your story in the comments. I read them all. And if you want more stories about betrayal, justice, and walking away stronger, hit subscribe and like this video. Because sometimes, the best revenge is finally choosing yourself.